here we are, Lambeau Field. We just got off the plane. We came to check out hot waiver wire pickup of the week. Footballgameplan.com. I'm Keith Fetz.
I'm Walt.
Walt just had a conversation with the trainer about Brandon Jackson. You want to elaborate a little bit?
Well, Ryan Green is out. Nobody knows how long he's going to be out. Brandon Jackson, get him now.
We know that that's an obvious waiver wire pickup after week one, but tune in a little bit later in this same video, and we're going to tell you some of the hot waiver wire pickups for this week that are going to go maybe under the radar a little bit. All right, week one, we had some pretty significant injuries that occurred, and we're going to talk a little bit about those and elaborate how they're going to play into your fantasy lineup for the rest of the season. Kevin Kolb, obviously, kind of the coveted quarterback replacing Donovan McNabb there in Philadelphia, suffered a concussion, and we all know how those can be. So, Walt suffered a few of those in his time, riding motorcycles without helmets, things like that. So, as you can see, limited to nodding his head and not really, conversating very much. So, Matt Stafford with the Lions, again, looking for a breakout season from him this year. Think this is going to affect him? Same shoulder he hurt last year?
I'd say so. We're going to see a lot of Sean Hill this year.
And, with the end of the game there, that catch that I think everybody in the fantasy nation that has Calvin Johnson on their roster was hoping he'd snag that one and pull it in. So I think that, according to our sources inside the league, the referees are looking at that close. But obviously we know until next March at the owners' meeting they can't, redo that rule. That is the way the rule is. Sucks as it may, but we all know Calvin Johnson will bounce back no matter who's throwing him the ball. So, we also got another quarterback, Matt Moore, another concussion. This seems to be a plaguing issue for the NFL. And what do you think? Think it's maybe the loose rules on quarterbacks? Maybe they're getting too soft? I don't know.
They are getting a little softer. They're used to nobody touching them, and they're getting touched. They can't take it. They can't take it.
Speaking of can't taking it, it looks like we're talking about injuries, so this segues pretty well into this. Looks like Norv Turner's feelings got hurt last night. The Chiefs, went all up in him last night and basically kept Phillip Rivers at bay. And even though he had that last, fourth quarter assault on Kansas City, and they kind of lost their bearings a little bit. But in those conditions, you would think that a proven team like San Diego and the Norv Turner brain trust could generate a win in Kansas City. What do you think?
I think the Chargers played like they ate too much barbecue in Kansas City before the game. That's what I think.
And you are the barbecue expert.
That's right.
I think the Chargers are one of the most overrated teams in the NFL this year. Norv Turner's never been able to deliver. This is the guy who got rid of Drew Brees for Phillip Rivers. So, sorry for insulting those of you who have Phillip Rivers on your lineup, but you're in for a long season as far as I'm concerned.
For sure. Ryan Matthew owners, don't know what to tell you. Hang in there.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Each week, Walt's going to pick a hot waiver wire pickup. I'm going to pick a hot waiver wire pickup. We're going to let you know who we think the best one out of the ordinary, not the Brandon Jackson, obviously. That's the obvious pickup this week. But we're going to take another one that's maybe a little bit deeper down the bench or maybe a little under the radar, and we're going to compare them each week and see who's right and see who's wrong. We may even let you submit a couple of things that will the loser has to do or has to perform. Embarrassing, whatever. Get creative out there. But what we're going to do is I'm going to let Walt go ahead and pick who his hot waiver wire for week 2 is going to be.
It's going to be Marcedes Lewis with the Jacksonville Jaguars. David Garrard likes to use the tight end. Marcedes, he's overdue for a breakout. Could have a big game against San Diego. You just never know. Could get you maybe 14 points. 80 yards and a touchdown. Maybe 2 touchdowns. You just never know. Grab Marcedes Lewis. Started this week.
That Norv Turner comment and the Chargers throwing off on them kind of made you reiterate that pick, didn't it?
Yes, I think that it did.
Well, my waiver wire pickup of the week is Matt Hasselbeck, quarterback for Seahawks. This guy, what can you say about him? He's been there, done that. Former Pro Bowler. He's playing on a rejuvenated Seahawks team. Pete Carroll's came in from USC. He's rejuvenated Williams, the receiver, who played for him at USC. Got this guy, wasn't even in the league last year, making plays. It looks like, with the way Hasselbeck scrambled, he still, as you saw him coming off the field after that touchdown, Pete Carroll was commenting about him still having the wheels. You know what, guys, I think this is my opinion, this is the top-notch quarterback to be starting for the next 3 or 4 weeks. They've got a really good matchup coming up against the Broncos this week. I think you're due, for another 25, 30-point game from Matt Hasselbeck. We'll, compare them at the end of the day and see who had statistically a better game.
He won't have the 12th man in Denver, but he'll still torch the Broncos. Never fear.
There you have it. All right, this is a segment we like to call Matchup. Each week, being a Colts fan, I have to stay with my Colts, but each week we're going to debate a matchup coming in from the previous week's results of who you think is going to have trouble. Both of us here are supposedly Colts fans, but this one here is saying that the Colts are going to have trouble this Sunday night when the Manning brothers meet. I personally think that whatever problems plagued the Colts last week, it's much bigger than losing Bob Sanders, but I think it's a fixable problem. And I think when we see the Colts versus the Giants Sunday night, little brother is going to take a back seat to big brother. And you're going to see the Colts light the scoreboard up, and you're going to see Eli hurried and rushed like he hasn't been yet.
So the Colts are going to do something they haven't done. The Colts had a problem with the O-line in the preseason, and they've got a problem in the regular season. It's not going to clear up in 1 week. The Giants get to the quarterback all the time. Only quarterback that the Giants have not harassed and gotten to is Donovan McNabb, and that's because he's quick on his feet. Peyton Manning is not quick on his feet. The Giants will harass him, sack him. It will be horrible. It will be horrible in Indianapolis. It's going to be horrible. The Giants, if you got their defense, don't hesitate to start the Giants' defense. Interceptions, sacks, they're going to get fumbles.
Wait a minute. I got to interrupt you there. As horrible as the defense played against Houston, Peyton Manning still lit them up. So how can you say that with any conviction whatsoever to start the Giants' defense? He's going to have his. He's going to get 300 yards. He's going to get 3 touchdowns.
In one sentence, the Giants aren't the Texans.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Little brother's going to come in. He's not going to command the forces. He's not Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is playing the first game in Indianapolis, opening game, Sunday night game. It's the old Monday night is what it is. Sunday night on ESPN sucks. Everybody knows it. Chris Collinsworth sitting in the booth. He's not a Madden, but he's pretty good. I think the hype's going to be there. Naptown's going to be jumping. All the boys are ready to go out afterwards and go to get them the steaks and all that in downtown Indianapolis. And little brother's going to be again asking big brother, how'd you do it? I just don't understand. How'd y'all turn it around so quick? I need that command of my team. How do you garner that?
The Bears spoiled the opening of Lucas Field, if you recall. And anything the Bears can do, the Giants can do better.
You like Kaufman, don't you?
Coughlin.
Excuse me. That's how insignificant he is to me.
My goodness. Super Bowl winning coach, he still gets no respect.
This is a team that went to the Super Bowl last year, the Colts.
Yes, you're right. That was last year. This is 2010. The O-line, pitiful.
And what big acquisitions did the Giants make last year?
They didn't have to.
And where did they end up?
They got people back that were hurt. The Giants are back to full strength.
I don't see it happening.
Well,
we might have to make a bet on this one.
We just may. Won't be the first time I've gotten into your pocket with the Giants.
Tune in next week. We'll recap this little fantasy that Walter's got going on about the Giants beating the Colts.
Start the Giants defense. By all means.
Until next week, remember, check us out Friday for your starting lineup and Tuesdays for your hot waiver wire pickups. Here we are at Lambeau Field. I'm Keith Fetz.
I'm Walt.
We got the inside connection for you right here on footballgameplan.com. Later.